in thinking back, in all of your past years, I was going to ask you if one person that you've personally met, if you could share maybe an example or a story of someone that you felt turned a trial into a treasure, someone from your past that you personally know, that you've met. And I know you've also met, individuals in person who have gotten treatment, for example, outside of Gaza. Recently, I've followed on social media, mashallah. But it could be even before that, could be a time from your childhood or whatnot. But someone that we can learn from, that you've experienced, who turned a trial into a treasure, inshallah.
Well, look, I've spoken about my mother. May Allah have mercy on her multiple times. That was her life story. Cancer, 4 strokes, osteoporosis, MS, partial deafness, inability to walk at some point, fully functioning in terms of her walking, disability. I mean, subhanAllah, you name it. And every single one of them, it's like when you gave her a diagnosis, you gave her a slip for a good deed. Like she just took it and turned it into a good deed. It was incredible. So that was the story of her life. And the story of my life was observing that, like thinking like, whoa, like I can't deal with losing a basketball game. I can't deal with, a rude encounter here or there. I can't deal with this. And this woman can deal with like life-threatening disease with exemplary patience. So that was the story of my life, was watching that, subhanAllah, and just seeing it. There's one thing that I always mention about her is the partial deafness. And obviously, a lot of people know me through my work at Yaqeen, an organization that I founded before Yaqeen, co-founded before Yaqeen. It was Muhsin, Muslims Understanding, helping with special education needs. And my part of that was inspired by my mother's life in that regard. But she'd sit in a gathering after her partial deafness, and she would just smile, and she would say, Alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jalla took away my hearing, so I can't hear people backbiting anymore. Because she said when she'd sit in a gathering, she could see the darkening of people's demeanor when they'd start to speak ill of others. She's like, subhanAllah, you can actually see it. So she could hear, but you have to speak really loud for her to hear. After her partial deafness, she was very hard of hearing. She's like, Alhamdulillah, like you can tell when people are talking about Allah, and you can tell when people are talking with the tongues of shaitan. Like you can tell, like just looking at their faces. And so she was so grateful. She genuinely was grateful for her deafness in that regard. She's like, I don't have to hear that stuff, so my hearing doesn't testify against me on the Day of Judgment, or my presence doesn't testify, because I genuinely can't hear these things, in these gatherings. That perspective is just something else, right? When Allah takes something away from you and you actually go, Alhamdulillah, Allah took it away from me, and you can actually like develop a wisdom, a benefit from that. You're not tasked by that part, by the way. You actually don't have to do that. That's another layer of ihsan. Like you could just stop there and say, Alhamdulillah, I'm pleased Allah took it away from me and He has a wisdom. But where you start to actually develop like fawaid, like actually develop benefits and mention them. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ, to speak of the blessings of your Lord, usually speaks to أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. Like Allah gave you things, and so you're thanking Allah for those blessings that He gave you. But when you can actually thank Allah for a trial because you see it as a blessing, and actually فَحَدِّثْ, like mention, like, yeah, I see a benefit to this trial in my life. It doesn't mean I liked it. It doesn't mean I didn't feel pain, but I actually see a benefit, alhamdulillah. And this is just one of the many benefits that I can derive from this trial. That's a particularly beautiful, spiritual relationship and station to be at. And I ask Allah to gift us all with that.